He really doesn't need too much of an introduction. You can catch him every Friday night live on USA for Friday Night Smackdown. He just came off a really great best of 5 series with Andrade, the former NXT heavyweight champion, the one and only Carmelo Hayes. And, you know, I scroll through your Twitter and you posted this last week, and I'm a diehard Kobe Bryant fan. And you besmirch the great name of Kobe Bryant with that. Don't get me wrong. I love AI. It's an iconic moment of him standing over Kobe. But come on. You can't do that. You can't do that to a guy that never won a ring.
And I picked the wrong day to do it too, because I got smoked that night. So I probably deserved it.
Didn't want to say that, Carmelo. I didn't want to go there.
No, it probably was poetic justice that happened like that, but it is what it is. I love that flick of AI. People are getting deep on it. They're like, we lost that series, right? I'm like, dang, I just like the picture.
Because it's one of those iconic moments in sports.
Yeah.
Like even though, it was over 20 years ago. Yeah,
but in that moment, the ultimate disrespect, and I think because it was to Kobe, and I think that's one of the you know what I mean, and that's probably why Kobe came back the way he did.
Man, he was a man on a mission after that. That was like, then they just swept him 4 straight. Said, you know what, you got your one. You needed to take about 40 shots. I'm going to lock you down. And we saw unfortunately, what happened the rest of the series if you're a 76ers fan. And you talk about the NBA, like we're seeing a lot of that NBA integration. You've seen last night on NXT. I don't know if you saw that with Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton, yeah.
I'm really liking what WWE is doing with the integration of, Jalen Brunson with Tyrese a few months back at MSG. So I love that you guys are bringing the sporting culture from the outside into whether it's SmackDown, mainly SmackDown, actually.
Yeah, NXT too. Yeah, no, I think it's one of those. Everybody wants to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Wrestling, like I think The Rock has said it on SmackDown. Wrestling is cool again. And I think it's something that, these guys, and not even just them, but artists, you know what I mean? Look, Lil Wayne was at, WrestleMania, Meek Mill just Mania. It's becoming pop culture again, WWE. So it's a special time right now.
Why do you think wrestling has become cool again?
I mean, I can't put my finger on exactly why it is, but I think it's just becoming accepted. I think it's becoming something that's like, you want to think about wrestling as like, I mean, me as a fan, right? Before I was even in wrestling, I remember thinking to myself, I was like, man, if I can be something, I want people to watch that don't watch wrestling to want to watch me. Like if I can be, because I remember when I was getting into it, there was things on WWE that I was like, oh God, no, I can't watch that with my buddies here. You know what I mean? Like if anybody walks in, they're gonna be like, what the heck you watching? But now it's just become kind of a little bit more of a reality era. And you've heard that probably before, where it's like things are a little bit more real. It's not so much so like, storylines that maybe people feel like they can't relate to, or, just goofiness or whatever it may be, to each their own. But it's kind of, you know what I mean? The stories are captivating people right now because they're relatable.
What were some of those moments where you're just like, we can't watch this, guys. Let's go outside.
I don't know. Like that, I don't remember. I mean, you gotta remember too, when you're growing up and you're in high school, you're too cool for wrestling a lot of times. Like I remember feeling like I was too cool. It wasn't even like that they were doing anything that was like that. Oh, but it was just like, oh no, wrestling. You know what I mean? It just felt like it went through a dip. Because I mean, I remember when I was a kid coming off the Attitude Era into the Ruthless Aggression Era, it was still pretty like almost everybody watched or knew who was who. And then it went through like a little bit of a lull, I feel. And then, like I said, I think it's definitely picking back up and it's getting hotter than ever. And we're getting all these, deals, and obviously going to Netflix. That's huge. You know what I mean? That's just going to open up so many eyes to WWE's product, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And then, NXT going to the CW network is going to open up to a whole new demographic. And, WWE's been holding it down on the USA network. So we got that demographic on lock. So yeah, it's exciting times.
You talked a little bit about the reality.
Why are you making that face?
Because no,
you're making that face like I said something that confused you.
I like sitting here
Go
thinking and
ahead.
like really listening to what you guys are saying, and you talk
All right.
about the reality
All
era
right. I
and
was
the
like,
aggression, ruthless
yeah.
aggression, the attitude era. You know, you talk about two of those, some of those that were under the guidance of Vince McMahon, and then you talk about now with this the reality era, the Paul Levesque era, whatever anyone really wants to call it. And no one is really wrong. Do you feel as a talent if Paul Levesque wasn't on, if Triple H, Paul, whatever you want to call him, if he's not leading this ship, do you feel like you have this run that the company is on right now, including the great premiere we saw on Friday night on USA?
I think with the talent that we have, yeah. Like I think the talent that we have really is what's making this, go the way it is. I mean, it's been stacked. Rosters have been stacked before. People always talk about, oh man, this is the most stacked roster. There's been so many great rosters, but I think that now everybody's firing on all cylinders. Whether that's motivation from one place or another, I don't know. I know me personally, I was gonna strive to be great no matter who was in charge. And I think a lot of people have that same kind of mindset. It's not that, oh, well, now I can try and work harder, or now I can try and be better. It's not that. It's never been that. But I think Hunter is a lot more hands-on with talent individually. So that way, maybe, I don't know, our ideas can come to fruition as opposed to having one singular idea. I don't know. I wasn't there. I've
Yeah.
only experienced you know what I mean? I've only experienced this, so I can't really speak from the other side. But my journey's been fantastic. I couldn't complain if I wanted to.
The journey's been great, and you headline. We could talk about the Roman Cody segment closed the show, but you were the final match on the show, and a fantastic series that culminated this past week on SmackDown on USA against Andrade. And
Did it culminate? Did it culminate?
see, but you know what? It kind of seems like it, Carmelo, because now
Maybe on one side it's culminated.
now you're going to lead me into my next question. It seems like an
What's that?
NBA style thing here. We're talking best of 5, best of 7. You have stakes, and too often fans complain about, oh, there's no stakes. Why is guy A facing guy B, women A facing woman B? What's on the line here? You have these series of matches that are banger after banger after banger, and it seems there's stakes. The United States Championship is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, crack at LA Knight. What's it been like to be of something that WWE really hadn't done too much of in the past, and especially against a guy like Andrade, career is well known, with the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, one of the most popular guys in the company.
It feels like an opportunity to give to guys who are hungry and didn't have a direction at the time. And it was kind of like, hey, we know we got these two studs. Let's see what we make out of it. I don't know if it was fully something that was, planned. And I know that, who knows as to how far we're gonna take it. But me personally, I'm not okay with just losing in 5 when I know there can be 7. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, I've seen all these other guys go to 7. What makes this different? Why does this only go to 5? You know what I mean? He didn't sweep me. He's just barely beating me every time. You know what I mean? You got to remember, bro, it's like I'm still learning the ropes. You know what I mean? I don't, I can afford to kind of lose here and there, but believe me, when I figure this thing out, man, it might be 7 matches, but when I figure this thing out, man, I'm coming out on top. So that's kind of the way it's got to work. I got to tighten up and I got to lock in and figure out the next 2 matches if I want them or what my angle is going to be. But he has a match against LA Knight for the US title. And I guess if that's what you want to call a culmination, then that's a culmination. But don't think that I'm not going to spin the block on him or LA Knight.
I think you got to go get it. I think you do. You got to do that. You got to do that AI Kobe moment. I think that would just be a good culmination.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to do that.
I agree, bro.
You look at your run in since you've been on the main roster, come off that great run in NXT. I thought the last 2 matches with Trick were fantastic. Told just such a great story. Your conclusion there and your rise right here coming up on SmackDown. And night 1, you're in there with Cody. You see all these guys are in the ring with every week, sharing, being on the same brand as Cody. Roman's back. The rise of Jacob Fatu. Just How would you characterize your run thus far on SmackDown?
It's my rookie year, man. Like it's funny that you mentioned that because, starting off with Cody, when you start so hot, the eyes are on you. The eyes are on you, bro. And like you start as a first round draft pick, and people get it confused because, like, all right, you're a sports guy. Just because you're a first round draft pick doesn't mean you win the championship the first year. You know what I mean? But you still play good. You know what I mean? You still, you still make a name for yourself on your team and you still put up points. And that's kind of what the way I've been looking at it is like, all right, you know what? I might not win the championship this year, but believe me, I'm gonna put up some freaking points. You know what I mean? We're gonna win some games. We're gonna, you know what I mean? We're gonna have game MVP, you know what I mean, match of the night, that type of thing. I'm gonna steal the show. Like that's the misconception I think of coming in so hot that you gotta win everything and you gotta be champion. And God forbid in today's WWE, if you're not WWE champion overnight and you don't win every match, you're that way they call you a jobber, like, or they're blaming Triple H and it's just the weirdest culture right now. But realistically, bro, it's like as a talent, it's like, you know what? I understand that I have a long journey, bro. Like I have a marathon journey. And I look back at Randy's and Cena's and all these guys that just when they started, nobody was killing it the way that people expect you to kill it when you just get there. You know what I mean? And people have that misconception. It's a short, everybody wants everything very quickly for everyone. And everyone needs to be winning and everyone needs to, you know what I mean, be featured and everyone needs to be, it doesn't work like that. And that's the problem. But me personally, bro, I just go out there and I just do, what I do and I just try to keep moving forward every time. Even if I lose forward. And just make a name for myself because my time is gonna come. It's inevitable.
Two more questions, Carmelo, and thank you so much for the time today. It's greatly
Sure.
appreciated. And what you said there reminded me of Shawn Michaels. Shawn used to say the goal was always to steal the show. Wins or losses, yeah, are inconsequential. But if I'm the one people are talking about, I'm gonna get to where I want to get to. Is it one of the things you learned from Shawn? Is just take match after match and just make the fans take notice of you?
Yeah, he told me straight up. He said, "Look, because of your size, you can never take a day off." He said you have to be a little bit better at everything. You know what I mean? You have to be and I know I have a lot to work on. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna come in here and say I'm the top notch, but I still have a lot to work on, just especially, getting to work with the guys at the highest levels, the Randys and the Codys and those guys. Like I see that. I'm like, oh man, there's still even Andrade, Andrade is great. I learned from working with Andrade. I'm like, there's still more I got to learn. But Shawn told me that early on, man. A lot of my mindset is from Shawn, and he explained to me too. Like I always tell this analogy. He said, "You guys want to put your roof on so quickly without building the foundation." Like the bricks and stuff. And so I always think about that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm still laying down the bricks. Like, why am I worried about putting windows up when the bricks aren't even laid? You know what I mean? Like everybody wants the freaking roof and a chimney and start decorating the outside and painting the outside of the house when there's no foundation. So it's like this is a period of building my foundation on SmackDown, and then eventually we'll get to that point. We'll put up a door, we'll put in some windows, and then we'll start working on a roof. You know what I mean? And then we'll have a storied career, and that's kind of the best way I interpreted that.
Just like after Allen Iverson shot all those bricks from games 2 through 5.
Yeah, I'll be building my foundation with all the bricks I've been shooting on SmackDown.
No,
Yeah,
you've been getting some in, my friend. You don't you're selling yourself
yeah,
short on that one. And listen,
yeah,
you talk
yeah.
about what is you're calling this the rookie season. So your rookie season will end at the end of April. What are your goals then for these next 7 months?
I apologize, bro. You talking about my goals?
Because you talk about your rookie season.
Yeah.
And your rookie season for you and at the end of April, year two will start the beginning of May. What goals do you feel like you need to accomplish to make this a successful rookie season?
Uh, I don't know, bro. I don't even like because I be going week to week, man. I feel like if I start putting on goals and things like that, then I'm chasing something, and I refuse to chase, bro. I just, I mean, I let it come to me. My whole career has been that. Sometimes I have to like step back and be like, holy crap, am I really where I am right now? And I never chased this. I just kind of worked and it just came to me. So I refuse to say I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and it's gonna come to me. There's a lot of things I want to do and I don't put a time limit on any of that. So I mean, my rookie year, I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm just making a name for myself and I'm just putting up good performances. Like I said earlier, I might not be winning the championship in my rookie year, but I'm putting up points and I'm winning games when they matter. I'm going up against the big teams. I'm wrestling the Randys and the Codys and the main eventing. People don't talk about that. Main evented against Cody and main evented against Randy. I'm in the ring with those guys. So, that's a hell of a rookie year in itself. Win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter. I beat Randy Orton. How many people can say that in their first year? So there's a bunch of things. So I've exceeded my expectations already. So everything else is a bonus.
I forgot to ask since the beginning. Who's your favorite NBA team and why?
My NBA team,
Yeah.
my favorite NBA team is Celtics, bro. Always been the Celtics. It's just and I'm so lucky. This is a good year to be a Celtics fan too. Yeah, it's a good year to be a Celtics fan. But even the last couple of years, I was still a Celtics fan for sure.
I'm stuck with the Bulls.
It's not stuck, but I feel you. Yeah,
it's rough. It's rough these days.
Yeah.
But Carmelo Hayes, we have not chatted before. This has been great. Thank you so much for the time today. It means a lot. You can catch Carmelo every Friday night live on Smackdown on the USA Network, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. I'm going to take a guess. Not done with Andrade. So I'm definitely looking forward to you concluding that series, getting a shot at the U.S. title. Then hopefully in 2025, you get a crack at the WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Champion. Have a great rest of the day, Carmelo.
Appreciate
I'm
you,
going to
bro.
root for the Celtics. I'm going to root for the Celtics this year. No Bulls. Go Celtics.
Yeah. Go Celtics. Appreciate you, bro.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you, sir.